Hi guys, this is Omer from MMOHut.com. I'm doing another quick weekly recap of MMO news and announcements for the week ending July 22nd, 2012. Anyway, as you can see from the video playing in the background, the first piece of news we'll be taking a look at this week has to do with Heroes of Newerth, or also HUT for short. And the news is that as of July 20th, every single Heroes of Newerth champion will be free to play. At first, HUT launched as a buy-to-play game, then later went free to play, the same way League was, free to play in that you had to buy the champions with in-game money or cash out money. Now though, the game launched a Dota 2 style system where all heroes in the game are free to play. I suspect this move had a lot to do with League of Legends growing in popularity and the fact that Dota 2 will be released as a free to play game. I think it'll definitely improve the Heroes of Newerth player experience, even if it does get seen as a desperate move by S2 to keep the game popular. On top of all this, all game modes are also now available for free users without needing any tokens or passes. So it looks like S2 will pretty much be monetizing the game entirely through skins. Champions are all free to play. Next up, on July 16th, Mechanist Games, an indie game studio, announced the alpha testing has begun for the new MMORPG City of Steam. Alpha testing begun last week and will continue into the next 2 weeks only during weekends. And graphically speaking, City of Steam vaguely looks like Legend of Ares, a much older MMORPG, which is now shut down. The game's graphics aren't that great, but I suspect it's because the game is designed to be run on the browser without any downloads. So yes, the game is browser-based. And since it is in alpha testing, there is no release schedule for the game quite yet. Moving right along, we have another new title to look at. On July 17th, Masthead Studios announced a new third-person shooter called Guns and Robots. Gameplay seems to be centered around robot-on-robot battles, with an emphasis on customization. So far, the two mech-based MMO shooters that I can think of come to mind both shut down, and the two I'm thinking of are Eggsteel and Bots. So the mech MMO genre hasn't been too merciful as of late. Though to be fair, there's still the Gundam MMO, which is still around. But anyway, this game was just announced, so there is no release schedule quite yet, and this is the only video available for the game. And as you can see, it clearly shows no actual gameplay. Next up, on July 18th, G Potato announced a new expansion for Allods Online called New Horizons. The New Horizons update introduces the ability to create custom Allods, new ship-to-ship territory fights in astral space, new mercenary NPCs, and more. The expansion is set to launch on August 8th, and Allods will also be launching a new North American server called Evelyn, which will permanently remove cursed items and increase the game's XP rates. Up next, also on July 18th, Play released a big update for Argo Online. The expansion raised the game's level cap to 55 and introduces the new island continent of Naruto to the game, which is designed for players level 50+. The new continent features over 400 new quests, 7 new dungeons, and 300 types of new monsters. Faction Wars also gains a new map, and the new arena mode is available for players level 30+. Next up, on July 19th, Dragon Saga launched its latest update called Dragonkin, which brings new combo skills to both the Twin Fighter and Shaman classes. These new combos are available to players as they level up. This is the first part of a much larger update named the Legendary Update, taking place throughout this year. Next up, on July 18th, Nexon released another new character to Vindictus named Kai, the Mercenary Archer. Kai features both close range and long distance skills alike, and is the 5th character in Nexon's epic action MMORPG. This is for the North American version of Vindictus. Not sure when the EU version will get this particular patch. The way it seems to work with Nexon is that obviously Korea gets it first, then America, and then sometimes Europe. They really just have one international version of the game outside of Korea. It would just make a lot more sense. Up next, on July 19th, 7core from G Potato announced that its closed beta registrations for the game are now open. The game features 3 classes, Warrior, Magician, and Gunner, and the unique mounted combat system. That seems to be its one thing that differentiates itself, is its mounted combat system. At least, that's what they say so. Now, I feel like Gunner doesn't really fit into the other 2 classes either. Like, why would you want to be a warrior and use melee weapons over a dude who shoots things with a gun? But weird MMO logic aside, the closed beta is set to begin on August 9th. Up next, also on July 19th, Perfect World Entertainment released some more info about their upcoming expansion to Rusty Hearts, which is set to launch on July 24th, which is Tuesday actually. The Reborn update will introduce new weapons for each character, as well as release a brand new avatar, Edgar Grozanover, which will be available to everyone for free. A PvP ladder system will also be introduced, which will grant rewards to the top players each week. Players can also expect new pets, as well as an entirely new beginner experience, which pretty much means all the starting areas will be revamped. The next and last bit of news also comes on July 19th, and the news is that Elsewhere raises its level cap and launches 2 new areas, and this the level cap increase is up to 56, and adds the Ancient Waterway and the Heart of the Ancient Waterway maps to the game. Though they do sound like the same map, they are 2 different maps. The newest playable character, which I mentioned a few weeks ago, Chung, also received a new costume. Well, that's it for MMO news, but as for games coming soon, we have nothing to look at. But as for games that recently launched, we have 3 titles to look at, and the first is Command & Conquer Tiberium Alliances from Area Games. And as you can see by the video below, the Tiberium Alliances is just another browser-based MMORPG game like Ebony, Travel War, Caesarea, etc. But I did want to mention it because it is based on the pretty epic Command & Conquer franchise. but at first glance, it does look like pretty much every other MMORPG game. Hopefully there is a lot more to it, because again, it's got the awesome franchise behind it. The game launched on July 18th on Area Games. The second game that launched this week is Maestia from Gravity Interactive, which went into open beta on July 19th. With the launch of open beta, the game's level cap has been increased to 59, and on top of that, all classes received an improved talent tree, 2 new areas and dungeons have also been added, as well as the new mercenary system has been released. With the launch of open beta as well, there obviously won't be any more wipes either. The next and last game that launched this week is Darkblood from Outspark. The game launched into open beta on July 19th, and with the launch of open beta, the game added joystick and gamepad support, and will be further raising the level cap next week once they release the cash shop. Anyway guys, that's it for MMO news and announcements for the week ending July 22nd, 2012. Now if you want to read about or learn more about any news mentioned in this video, simply head on over to MMOHut.com/news, and if you want to discuss any in this video, simply head over to MMOHut.com/forums. Anyway guys, this is Omer, signing off.